Hi guys, welcome back to the Track and Safari Club. Today I am bringing you a tier list of what I believe will be the top specs going into Mythic Raid Week of patch 9.1. We had some changes this week with buffs coming into Hunter. All three specs are getting huge buffs, 15% damage for PM, around 8% total for Marksman, and the survival is unknown, but it's looking like a 8 to 10% buff. Well, not quite 10%, but almost there. Fire Mage is getting huge buffs, might make them viable, however we don't know if they're going to get back to the main class. We don't know if that matters. So we'll see where they end up. Shadow Priest, huge nerfs. Well, not huge, about 2% damage nerf, but it'll knock them down a peg and will really hurt them because other classes are getting buffed, which is going to put them down even further. Shaman, no changes for PvE, and then Affliction Warlock is getting a global aura buff of 5% damage across everyone. So, with those changes, I wanted to make some changes to my previous 9.1 tier list and kind of talk about where I think things are going to end up. So to start off, Marksman Hunter, I believe, is going to be one of the three top DPS specs this tier. It's already quite competitive, as you can see from here. It's looking to, this is all bosses, heroic, let's go with 95th percentile just to kind of see. Looking at a 6,300 DPS, and then really quick, we're just going to add 8% damage. That's what they think the buff is going to be at. So 6,338 times 108, or 8% more damage. 6,845. That is competitive with the top. It's competitive with Demonology, competitive with Elemental Shaman. So, but not only that, the thing that I think most people are not considering about Hunter right now is that you're going to be getting a quiver, a back piece that has bonus damage and no one else is going to. You're also getting the bow with the extra ability. And those things, those small power creeps, I think they're going to add up, and I think they're going to put Hunter at the very top. So that's why we have Hunter in S tier. For Beastmaster, I think it's also going to be S tier. I really, really do believe with the massive changes that we're looking at here, 15% damage increase across the board almost. It's insane. That is so good for BM. So I believe they are both going to end up S tier, but not far behind is going to be Elemental Shaman and Shadow Priest. I think both of these are going to be extremely strong. Oh, and also what do we got? Balance Druid. I think once Venthyr Balance Druid gets their Lego, they're going to be incredibly OP. I think Shadow Priest nerf, the 2% nerf, is painful, but it's not huge. 2% doesn't even sound like a lot, but it will add up, especially over time. However, Shadow Priest is known for their late game scaling. Once they get more and more and more haste, they're going to be really popping off. So for that reason, I think they're definitely up there. And Elemental Shaman, there were so many strong showings this week from Elemental Shamans. Their ability to destroy bleed packs is insane. Earthquake, the chain lightning, and all that stuff. So, it adds up. I think Elemental Shaman is probably tied with these three. I think all three of these are up there. Honestly, I think they're just slightly worse than Hunter, but not by much. And honestly, Boomkin offers more, so I'm going to put that up there in S tier. You know what? I can't. I think all five are S tier. Boomkin offers healing, it offers tankiness, you're unkillable, you're a freaking tank. Elemental Shaman, you have Manatide Totem, you have healing, you kind of bring a lot to the raid. Not as much as Boomkin, but still enough. And Vampiric Touch from Shadow Priest is an underrated amount of healing that really does help the team. So for those reasons, they're going to be up there. Frost Mage, I actually don't think it's an S tier. And that's because the mobility on some of these fights required, it's destroying Frost's damage. You can't just sit there casting Frost bolts the whole fight. Even on the single target fights, you're constantly having to move in a lot of these fights. I mean, just look at Painsmith, right? Like, when are you ever standing still as a Frost Mage on Painsmith after P1? And going into Mythic Week, it's going to be so much worse. So for that reason, I think Frost Mage is A to B tier. I would say A tier, but leaning towards B tier. Fire Mage, with the buffs coming in, we're going to have a 20% increase in fireball damage, Fire Blast is 15%, and Pyroblast is 5%. Those are big buffs. But what really brought down Fire Mage is the cooldown reduction they were getting off of Fire Blast beforehand. They were a minute spec, which means every minute of the fight, you're getting a combustion. That's insane. That means you're getting more burst windows than every other class in the game. Now, they're closer to a minute 15, minute 30. That's pretty much Shadow Priest, right? So why would you bring a Fire Mage over Shadow Priest? Well, you have the raid buff, obviously. That's a good excuse to bring one mage. But Arcane Mage is insane right now. I mean, Arcane Mage is putting up great numbers. Frost Mage is a little bit higher, but Arcane Mage is definitely pumping. You know, why not bring Arcane Mage instead of Fire Mage there? Especially considering the damage, right? Well, I think after this, the damage will be a little bit closer. But I think Arcane is still going to be stronger than Fire. So for that reason, we're going to put Fire in B tier. Arcane and Frost are going to be in A tier. I'm actually going to drop Frost to B tier. I know the damage is higher right now, but in Mythic, there's less standing still than there is in Heroic, and already in Heroic, there's a lot of movement. So for that reason, I think Frost tier is going to drop down a little bit. So Arcane Mage is going to be my number one. Moving on, let's go to Survival Hunter, which I think is probably dog shit. Excuse my language. I think good players can make a really good use out of this class. It just doesn't offer enough. It's a melee class. Playing melee is so not good right now, especially for Painsmith. Like, that fight is not good for melee. There are some good melee fights. Painsmith's not one of them. Painsmith holds them back a lot. So I think Survival Hunter is probably C, closer to D, but we'll leave it in C for now. We'll see what else pops up, right? So let's go into Assassination mode. Huge damage this week. Absolutely massive damage. We're looking at way up there. Their single target damage is on par with Shadow Priest pretty much. 20 DPS behind. This is the 95th percentile, so keep that in mind. These are the people who are getting the maximum out of that class. It's right up there, you know. And this is a single target class, so in single target fights, they are pumping. So for that reason, A tier, for sure. No question in my mind. Going into Destruction Lock, I think it's okay. But I think it's worse than the mage specs. And for that reason, I'm going to drop survival down because I think destruction is better than survival. There's a lot of padding going on, especially on fights with cleave, that don't really need the destruction cleave. But they are capable of cleaving pretty well in the fights where we do need it. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I think Frost does everything that destruction does, but better. So besides, you know, obviously having health stones and, you know, summon, like, other than that, you know, you bring one lock and it's probably going to be a demo lock because they're just popping right now, and I think you call it at that. So for that reason, moving on to demo lock, I actually would put this in A tier. I think demo lock is extremely strong right now. You need one for sure for health stones. I think this is probably the strongest warlock class right now. So we're going to put that in A tier, way above Disaster Lock. And where's the last lock spec? Am I just missing it? Where are you? Where's Affliction? Let's stay with me, people. I can't find Affliction Lock this time. Surely Affliction Lock. Oh, there we go. I'm blind. Okay. Affliction Lock, even with the 5% global buff. I mean, look how far down this is. 6'3", 6'8", right? So again, we'll do the same thing we did earlier. 6'3", 6'8", you're getting a flat 5% buff, 1.05 damage, 6'6", 8'6". Actually, you know, you're putting this up there, but the thing about it is, okay, so I think this buff will help. I think this buff will help Affliction. But all three of these marksman specs are going to be zooming up here, minus Survival Hunter. Survival Hunter will get better. It's not going to be as good, though. So, you know, all of these are going to go above Affliction. So Affliction might move to maybe halfway up the tier. Maybe, like, you know, middle tier class. But it's never going to... This 5% buff is not enough to get to the top. So for that reason, we are going to put Affliction Lock in C tier. I think it's pretty competitive with Vesture. I think they're both kind of, you know, left right now. Enhancement Shaman. Big damage. Very little usefulness, outside of Wind Rush though. That movement speed, very helpful in some fights. You know, looking at Torturer, looking at Painsmith, there's quite a few fights that Wind Fury Totem is pretty good, but I think that's, and their damage is okay. But melee specs are so bad in some of these fights that, like, I'm leaving it in D tier. I'm leaving it D tier because melee spec. Literally, that's it. And I know Assassination, I have in A tier, but the damage that they're bringing is insane. Plus, being able to Shroud and skip some of the obnoxious amount of trash packs in this raid, I like a lot, personally. I think there's way too much trash, way too spread out, and it's really painful to get from area to area in this raid, so I like having one rogue for sure. Plus, they just pump damage. It's actually insane. And Enhancement can't come close to Assassination, not in my mind, so... actually, let's check. Yeah, Enhancement Shaman, 6'4", Assassination, 6'7". Yeah, they're like 300 DPS apart, and it's just going to grow, in my opinion. So, let's move on to Feral Druid, which I think is also... I think Enhancement Shaman and Feral Druid are pretty much the same class. They both do decent single target damage when you're really good at the class, but they offer so freaking little to the raid, wherever... Like, look at these specs. Like, you have Turtle, right? Which is really strong. You have, you have Tar Trap for Fate Scrag. You have so many options to help your class. Like, and a Marksman is on the weaker side of class utility, right? Like, BM is the same way, but Pumpkin, insane utility. Shaman, insane utility. Priest, great utility. Arcane, all of these classes are great, They all offer something. Where this class is not. Assassination offers Shroud, which is not that good. It just does a lot more damage. So, for that reason, Feral Druid is going to take right next to Enhancement Shaman, right next to Survival Hunter. I think there are very few people who would argue with that. I think even Survival Names know their class is kind of bad right now, and there needs to be more love given to them. With that being said, though, let's go to Outlaw Rogue, which I think is competitive with Assassination, but I think it's slightly lower. It's great for cleave, it's great for AoE fights where you're hitting a lot of things, but there are a lot of single target fights in this raid, so therefore you're not getting as much, as much value out of that spread cleave kind of damage. I think that's all that needs to be said about that one. Sub Rogue is pretty trash right now, I'll be honest, we're going to leave that down. These 4 melee specs, they're all bad. I would stay away from them if you plan on playing anything. I don't think any of the top 500 guilds are going to bring any of these specs unless they have one player who is just insane at that class. But if that player's not, like, literally insane, like, incredibly doing groundbreaking things, then I just don't see any of these four classes. So, with that being said, let's move on in the DPS. I always forget which monk class is DPS. This is definitely a Mistweaver. I believe this is Windwalker. This is not Windwalker, I apologize. I'm so bad at it. It's incredible. I think Windwalker is really good right now, but I think it has the same problems that Outlaw does, and that is there's not a lot of clean fights. There's some clean fights where they really shine, where you're going to hit like 4 or 5 targets the entire time, but on single target, you bring one monk for the raid buff, and then you leave it at that. I mean, I think that's all that can be said. Mistweaver, however, is pumping heals right now. I mean, pumping, okay? This class, I would absolutely encourage to have at least one. The amount of heals that a good monk is giving, a good Mistweaver monk, absolutely, probably top healer right now. I would almost guarantee that they are top healer. Let's see. Is there a way to switch this? Healers. What are healers? Wow. Okay, that makes sense. Venthyr Holy Paladin, insane. Mistweaver Monk is up there with Discipline Priest, so, okay. It's not as high as I thought it was, I'll be honest. But the Mistweavers I've been playing with have been insane, so maybe I just got lucky. But after looking at this, I mean, this is where HPS is standing, right? HPS is not everything. I'm going to drop them down to B tier. I think they're good, but just based on the numbers, it's hard to argue with those. So bring those down just a little bit. Let's go to Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin, especially Venthyr Holy Paladin. Wait, are we looking at DPS? Is this why this is showing like this? Okay, this makes so much more sense. Because I was very confused for a second. I don't know if we can actually switch this. It's not showing heals though, it's showing damage. Ah, okay, here we go. It is hard to see this. Not exactly sure. Alright, we'll come back to that. But alright, I'm moving this back. I think monks, Mistweaver monks specifically, are very, very strong right now. Discipline priests, if played well, also incredibly strong. These two classes are pumping heals right now. I think those are probably your best two healers. I think you're definitely bringing a shaman for just the utility they bring. The Manatite Totem, Spirit Link Totem, really, really strong. I think you're definitely bringing them, but I think they're slightly weaker in heals than the other two. However, I think they're very, very strong class. So I would say probably bring one of these for sure, and then both of these. And if you're bringing more than that, you're probably bringing what, 4 heals. 2, 4, 14 usually, or 2, 5. Maybe double up on... I wouldn't double up on Disc Priest. Disc Priest is really good at 1, and it's not so great after that. Mistweaver, I would maybe double up on. Shaman, I would probably... You know what? I would probably double up on Shaman, because Shaman is good, but I don't think it heals as much. So, Resto Shaman, easy B tier. It's definitely behind the others. It can be played very well. It can do a lot of healing. Convoke, with Tree of Life, with Tranquility, you have a lot of options to get massive heals, but it's never going to be competitive with these three. These three just offer too much. So, let's see what else do we have. I did kind of skip around to it a little bit. Holy Paladin. Wait, no, wait, I'm sorry, I put Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin is insane. This is like the best class you can bring right now. This is the heals you get, the damage you get, just nutty. Venthyr, their class utility, I can't even think of the name right now. Ashen Hollow, incredible HPS, incredible DPS. Bring one of these, all right? Bring 2 of these, bring 5 of these. I don't care. Just bring all of these. These are good. Bring one of these though, and one of these, and one of these. Maybe bring one of these, but these 4, yeah. You know, if you're gonna leave one out, it's Resto Druid. Let's see, what else do we have here? Is this? No, this is I don't play Paladin, I don't know. I know this is okay. Let's go to Warriors. I know these classes, alright? I know these. Arms is okay right now. I'd say it's slightly above these 4. It's because it has the it has Battle Shout, it has the increase to raid health ability. It's not bad. So I would bring that. I would say Fury is better. More damage, same thing as Arms, but better. Better execution, huge execution damage, and 2 target cleave. Their cleave is insane. So definitely above. I'd say almost A tier, but for now, A tier. Let's go to Holy Priest. Holy Priest. I can't even say. I think this is Holy Priest. Holy Priest is like I think on par with Resto, but not that great. It's just meh. Just leave it there, alright? Blood DK tanks have been really good, actually. Kind of popping off. Lots of survivability. Good amount of damage. Not the highest damage, but decent. I'm not going to put them in S tier. Don't think they're an S tier class. I think they're an A tier class. But definitely on the rise. God, what is this class? It's not Rat Valley. It's something Valley. We'll come back to it. They have Ret Valley, Protection Valley, and Holy Valley. Yeah. So this is Ret Valley. Ret Valley's okay. Good amount of damage. But it's a melee class. It offers some things. I would say it's above Arms Warrior. It's probably on tip par with Fury Warrior. It's not bad. I wouldn't bring. I don't think any of them will be in the raid first comps. I think you'll definitely bring Holy Valleys and Red Valleys, but they're there. They exist. Guardian Druid is unkillable. That tank is disgusting. Doesn't matter what you throw at it. It doesn't die. It has a billion health, a billion armor, a billion cooldowns. It reflects damage pretty well. It has Invoke if it wants it, although I don't know they're going right there anymore. They might be changing. Vengeance, Demon Hunter, and Havoc, Demon Hunter. Vengeance is really strong right now. The mobility is really nice for a lot of these fights. So S tier for sure. Havoc DH is pretty dog shit, I'm going to be honest. I would put this in C tier. You need one for the raid buff, either Vengeance or Havoc, but you only need one and you only bring one. Their damage is low unless you're in a multi-target fight, so yeah. Prot Warrior is pretty shit. Gonna be honest, pretty shit. I would almost put this in D tier. I think this tank class is bad. I'm gonna put it in C tier because I think good prot pallies or good prot warriors can make it really work, but it's hard to heal them. They're hard to survive. They shield block us down. What do they do? I'm not a big fan of it. Unholy DKs. Big damn. Have a grip. Have AMC. What does this class not have? S tier. 100%. Definitely pretty good. Frost DK is Unholy DK, but less damage. So we're going to say B tier. You want one of them. You don't need both. Actually, I say that, but 2 DKs really strong up. Brewmaster. Fuck, I don't know. We're gonna say this is Brewmaster. It's okay. I don't know tanks. If I put these in F tiers, it means nothing. I don't know tanks. So, and then probably Windwalker. I think. Just go with my tier list, okay? I know range DPS are Marksman Hunter, Beastmaster Hunter, Boomkin, Ellie Shaman, Shadow Priest. If you want to play a range DPS class, pick these 5 classes. I'm telling you, you will do a trillion damage, okay? That's all I'm saying, right? And if you don't want to play one of these, play Arcane Mage, you know? Big damn. If you want to play melee class, play Assassin, okay? You're going to do a lot of damage. If you want to play, I wouldn't play this, all right? Actually, you know what? Let me preface that by saying, if you want to get invited to every freaking raid ever, play Warlock, because everyone needs a lock closet. You can be like 1 out of 10 normal, okay, and you will get invited to heroic raids because you offer something that no other class does. A quick way to get in the big, to get around the longest fucking raid of all time. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, it's so big, but I really have been enjoying this week. I've been having a lot of fun. So, but yeah, play Assassin Rogue if you want to play melee. Sword Rogue is okay. Fire Frost are Frost is really fun to play, but I don't think damage is quite there yet. And Fire is probably gonna be up there, maybe slightly behind Frost. We'll see. But yeah, that's my tier list. I hope you guys enjoy, and let me guys know what you think in the comments. If you have a completely different view on class, or if you think I am stupid and have no idea what I'm talking about, let me know. Honestly, let me know. I just appreciate the feedback. It's been a good time making these videos. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I can't wait until Mythic progression begins. We're going to watch all the top guilds go for it. We're getting a little bit closer to getting AOTC ourselves. You know, I got some pulls on that. I got a bunch of P1 pulls down. Got to raid with the YouTuber Kalani, who is just incredible at what he does. And I had a really good time doing that, and I really want to raid with that guild again. And hopefully make some AOTC progress for myself. And hopefully they nerf Sylvanas, because you guys, that fight is so difficult. I am not even playing. It is P1. It just massacres your team, okay? And it's all spread cleave, so like Hunter is okay at cleaving some of it down. It's so hard though. It's a lot of fun, and progging it is going to be great because when you get that kill, it's going to feel amazing. You get to watch that cutscene again. The cutscene in normal was incredible. Just really, really like that. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Sylvanas, I like how they portrayed her, and they portrayed the jailer. So, just, yeah. Anyways, let me guys know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, and if not, thank you for watching anyways. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace out.